Hi, Tile from Infidelity here. Merry Christmas. Today, we're going to talk about a headphone, wow, that I love. This is the new Focal Clear open around ear headphone. It's $1,499 and worth every penny. We'll start with the build. It's much like the Alere and Utopia. It has these yokes that turn inside the headband. They don't turn much, but it's plenty. The ear pads or the ear capsules can angle inward like this, and they're actually spring loaded a little bit so that when you put it on your ears, it kind of has exactly the same pressure all the way around. They're quite roomy and comfortable. The driver is angled, so the ear opening is deep as well as fairly large in width and height. The ear pads can come off with a tug. You just pull them off like that, and on the right side is the serial number, and they go back on quite easily. I understand their replacement ear pads will become available, and you can get them through your dealer. Unlike its brother and sister Utopia and Alere headphone, they come with a new set of cables which are super nice. These cables are terminated at the headphone end in a 3.5 millimeter mono plug, and there's a little ring around this mono plug or the body of it that clicks into place. They're not really locking, they're sort of detented. This cable is the short 1.2 millimeter cable, has a removable adapter on the end here so that you can access the 3.5 millimeter plug for portable use. But it also comes with 3 meter long balanced and 1/4 inch jack or 1/4 inch plug cables in this dandy little case that opens up. So this is a really nicely accessorized in terms of cables, and a great place to store them. And it has this just absolutely sexy case that comes with it. The headphones fit in the case very nicely. You do have to remove the cables to put them in the case, and the case zippers shut. It's got a little leather carry handle on here. Absolutely gorgeous. The Utopia and Alere do fit in here, and this case is available separately, so you can get it for your Alere or Utopia if you would like. But it's really a nicely accessorized headphone as that goes. Very comfortable, very good looking. I usually go for the black look on audio gear, but I actually think I like the look of this headphone more than I do the black Alere or Utopia. It's really a terrific looking headphone. In terms of sound quality, it's just amazingly good. I actually have to wonder whether this headphone wasn't in Focal's mind all the way along, whether they thought, okay, let's make a no holds barred, just as rockin' best as we can headphone, regardless of price, and they produced the Utopia, which sells for $4,000, and then I think they also produced the Alere at $999 to say, now what can we do with this same concepts and make it cost less than $1,000? And both those headphones I thought were quite successful, although they both had their own sonic issues. The Utopia was a little bass shy, and it also had a little bright spot at 6K that was a little too present. But it's a very liquid sounding headphone with the beryllium M-dome driver. It really has a lot of resolve and nuance in it. Very nice, but that bright spot sadly was not a good thing, and could be quite fatiguing, and combined with the a little bit lower bass level than the Alere, it was a little thin sounding, and it's always kind of funny. It's, is the treble too high or the bass too low? But at any rate, and then the Alere had a big chunk of spectrum missing between 4 and 8K, so it didn't have that little bright spot at 6K, but it was missing a chunk of information in the what I call the mid treble region, and it sounded a little muted and lacking in treble resolve. And this headphone just dials those problems out. The level of the region between the peak at 3.5K or 3K, 3.5K, up to 10K, that the level of that region is just pretty much right on. It still has a little bump at 6K, but it's quite a bit less than the Utopia. I thought I could hear it. I thought that I did hear a very slight edge to the sound, but it was only very slight. And then the bass, I think this headphone actually has a little more bass than both of the other Focals do. The bass is really nicely in line, but the real thing about it is the balance overall is just spectacular. This headphone, like the other two Focals, is also a very dynamic and potent headphone. I wouldn't really call it punchy quite, but it's quite dynamic and quite responsive. I think that tends to cause the image to collapse a little bit. It doesn't have a deep image. The image is a little bit shallow, but because everything is so sort of intensely portrayed, and even saying intensely portrayed is too strong a word, it just confidently portrayed. At any rate, the balance through that presence region and the whole headphone is just spot on, and voices sound exactly like voices, and cymbals sound like cymbals. There's no extra tizziness or graininess except for that tiniest hint of hedge. It's spectacularly well balanced headphone. I would say that it almost doesn't have any character at all. I wouldn't even call it neutral in a way, because so oftentimes neutral headphones can tend to sound boring or something, whereas this headphone is just confident and competent, and you put it on, the music is just bam in your head. So it does a great job in that regard. I would say that amongst dynamic driver headphones with voice coils, it probably has of a dynamic driver open headphones, it's probably got the best bass response I've heard in terms of level and balance and textural control. It's not the best bass I've ever heard, like on a Odyssey LCD 4 or 3 headphone. Those headphones tend to have a very, very good resolve in the bass and textural recovery. This headphone is just a little bit soft and rounded in the bass, just a little bit that the bass comes into the mids, but it's just a little. Overall, it's just amazingly good. The mid range is beautifully balanced. Although the Utopia, I thought, is more liquid sounding, but this one doesn't have that kind of character. It's just right down the middle. At any rate, I'm absolutely floored by this headphone. This is the first time I can, unreservedly say, yeah, this is a headphone that's worth over $1,000. A lot of headphones that are over $1,000, it's like, come on, it's got this problem or that problem or such and such. But this headphone, it's great looking headphone. It's a very comfortable headphone. The accessories are fabulous, and the sound is just to die for. It's amazing. So yeah, if you've been minding your wallet and you've done the Cost Porter Pro and the Sennheiser HD600 and you're patiently waiting for something that's really worthwhile jumping on to open your wallet up to, this I think is it. This is worth eating ramen for a month for. This is a headphone that I'm tempted to buy for my own, just so I could call it my own. Of course, I get to keep it, but because it's going on the Wall of Fame, but it's not mine. And this is a headphone that I want to be mine, and that's a rare feeling for me. So yeah, definitely check this Full Cal Clear out. It's definitely going on the Wall of Fame. It's definitely going to knock some headphones off the Wall of Fame. Probably the Utopia and the Alere. We'll see. I have to think about that a bit and spend some time with the Wall of Fame headphones in the open class. But this thing is spectacular, and I hope you get a chance to hear one soon. All right, we'll see you next time.